I'm Lee and welcome to my channel, and this video is titled, I Saw My Boyfriend's Mistress 2 years later. Now the ex-boyfriend, and this actually happened last night, so emotions are still a little... So this definitely coincides with the videos I found out of 6 years my boyfriend has been cheating on me the whole entire time from day one. On Valentine's Day, I found out about this, no less. The video, I had to beg my boyfriend to delete his mistresses. And the video, my boyfriend thought I was a hooker. That one is just classic. And so let me give you a little backstory about this girl. I say girl, this is a grown woman. And I feel like this is why just this whole situation, just this whole everything just literally disgust me. Is we're not dealing with young kids. We're not dealing with kids who do not know any better. We are dealing with grown adults, adults that are older than myself, adults who know better. And so he is 15 years older than me. So he is almost 60 years old. Okay. Now just keep that in mind when you watch these other videos. Almost 60-year-old grown man. She is older than myself. Not sure by how much. I would say she's maybe probably 7 to 10 years older than me. But her lifestyle makes her look like she's freaking 20 years older than me. It makes her look so much more aged than what she is. So she's a smoker, lifelong smoker, and she is a tanning bed baker. I used to bake in the tanning bed. I go out in the sun, but when I would bake in the tanning bed, I'd cover my face, I'd cover my chest, oh no, not her, honey. So she has the aged skin. She's just aged. Okay, she's just aged. So we all used to work together at a strip club. This was probably about 10 years ago. I was a bartender. He was a manager. And at that time, he was married. And oh, honey. Whew, that is a whole other video about that frickin' marriage. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. If I knew then what I know now about, well, basically about him, about that marriage, I'd like to think that I never would have gotten involved with him. But then again, of course, the mind always, oh, he's never going to do that to me. Or, oh, I'm better. I'm special. Honey, no. Basically, the saying is true. Once a cheater, always a cheater. And I can't wait to do a video on that marriage. Of course, they did get divorced. But at that time, he was married. She was a stripper. Now, every single person in that place said the same exact thing about her. She's mean. She's rude. She's so nasty. Nasty attitude. Didn't treat anyone with any sort of respect. Like she was, which blew my mind when I found out that's the frickin' mistress of 7 years. Her? The most miserable person on the face of the earth. So she doesn't even have looks going for her. She doesn't even have a personality going for her. So what? So we would call her Mumbles. Call her Mumbles. I had a manager who would call her the sea hag. Okay. So this was so funny. Oh my God. So remember, this was about 10 years ago. So at this club that we worked at, they had like an online thing where you could get an account, you could log in, you could see the stage, see the bar, I don't know, something stupid. We all hated it, by the way. So my mother and I live in different states. And when it would get slow at work, we would video chat, just, talk to my mom. I don't talk to her, rarely see her. So when my mom, she logged in, and when you log in, it takes you right to the main stage. And I'll say her name. I'll say her stripper name. Trina was on the stage, and this was 10 years ago about. My mom was like, oh my God, who's the old lady? And I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's Trina. And my mom's like, I thought if you worked at a strip club, you know, you had to be young and thin and gorgeous. And remember, this was years ago when it was kind of that transition from online to, I mean, to where strip clubs were still, I guess, kind of a thing. My mom was just like, oh my God, they let her, I mean, it was hilarious for my mother to say this. I died, right? So fast forward about 5 years later, I get a job. Didn't even want to take this job, but it's at another strip club. So I was bartending, went in for an interview, and as I'm sitting there waiting to speak to the manager, Trina comes over to me. She's like, "Hey, Lee," and I was like, "Oh my God!" Like I was surprised to see her because again, this was like 4 or 5 years later, and this was in a completely different city than the previous place we worked at. So I was just like, "Oh my God, hey!" Like what? Went home that day, told my boyfriend, "Oh my God, guess who I saw? I saw Trina." Nothing, right? So I work with her, and she is the complete opposite of how she was previously. She did a complete 180. She is so freaking nice to me. She is so nice to me. Hi, Lee. Hey, how are you? Oh, what? Blew my freaking mind. So nice to me. Would tip me. Never tipped anyone before. Come up, get a drink from me. I was just like, and it's funny because at this place, every single person said the same exact thing. She's mean, she's rude, she's nasty. Her attitude is god-awful, horrible. So I'm sitting here really starting to question, well, she's nice to me. Where is everyone else coming up with this stuff? Like, she's just so nice to me. Well, she's nice to me because she's out with my freaking boyfriend behind my back. And that's one thing that just disgusts me. Like, both of them are such... well, I can't use the word that I want to say, but wimps, I guess. They're both. Neither one of you can say to me, he couldn't even say, oh, well, you know, I'm out with this. Like, why lie and why cheat? Why? Because you're telling everyone you freaking hate me. So why are you, right? And I would come home multiple times and say, oh my God, you know, Trina is just so nice to me. I don't understand why everyone's saying that she's just this mean person. Never once said anything. And at one time, he was like, well, I never told you that, you know, we were friends because you hated her. And I was like, well, yeah, I did hate her, but there were times when I would come home and tell you how nice she was to me, and you could have said right then and there, see, I told you she was nice. Like, if that was really your good friend, your close friend, I mean, you would stick up for her. So that's just freaking BS, right? So then, one of the things that he said, this wasn't that long ago when he said this too. God, I have so many videos to do about just this narcissistic, arrogant piece of trash. So she got married. And honey, that's a green card marriage if I have ever frickin' seen one, okay? So he said, he's like, oh, well, she's married now, so I know that she won't want to do the things that we used to do. But you're just friends, right? So what are these things that you used to do? Like, just the audacity, the arrogance of a narcissist, just, honey. So... let's see. Oh, yeah. So she was a literal hooker in the club. Whatever. But just where this is coming from, the video where he thought I was a hooker, which, God, you gotta watch that. It wasn't okay for me to be a hooker because I was supporting my lifestyle, but it's okay for Trina to do it. It's okay for Trina to be a hooker. You cannot find reason with a narcissist because they're not a normal person. I keep trying to remind myself of this when the just asinine things that come out of his mouth. You're not dealing with a normal person. Okay? Oh, he unknowingly took me to her house before. So you apparently can find out anyone's anything online. And honestly, that's really freaking scary. So I remember when I cussed her butt out years ago about how she is just a piece of trash. I mean, granted, I cussed his butt out too, but I cussed her butt out as well. Like, how are you going to smile in my face and then behind my back? Like, just, you're disgusting. Okay. So I cussed her out, and I remember looked up her information online, found out her address, right? So I Google Earthed it because I was like, actually, this isn't that far away from me. Google Earthed it. I'm looking around and I was like, wait a second. This place looks familiar. And I'm looking and I'm like, that MFer. So this was a handful of years ago. I remember I was with him. He went to this complex to pick something up. It was her house. He took me to her house to pick up whatever. It's disgusting. Like that, just like what a freaking arrogant person. Okay. So she's less than 2 miles away from me. So when he's on his way home, stop by her house, stop by my house, drive 5 miles down the road, there's his house. And when I would see the messages of her, oh, come over, I need you to come, like, ugh, it's so freaking disgusting. Because, yeah. So there's that. And looking over my notes because I was just so disgustingly heated. So, last night I was at work, right? In walks her and her new green card marriage husband. And my heart dropped. I was like, this just, I honestly don't know if she saw me or not. I really hope that she did, but she's dumb as frickin' rocks. So she probably, it didn't even register. I mean, of course I'm grown, so I'm not going to go up and kick her butt, even though, God, it would be nice. I was just, it brings up all those just horrible emotions because this is someone who smiled in my face and just stabbed me in the back. And also just seeing her, oh, he definitely has a type. And I ain't it. So okay. Oh, so the first place that we all work together at, one of my coworkers said that she looks like the bird from the Labyrinth. And I wish that I could do like a side-by-side comparison because, oh my God, like even the managers, she would pull it up and she would say, look, it's Trina. They would die. Like they would die. It was just that uncanny. Okay. So sea hag, Mumbles, the bird from the Labyrinth. Yeah. So she, has the aged smoker face, has the cheapest hair extensions. Okay. Cheapest hair extensions. She has the bangs. And so this is what also just ages her. Okay. So she has the bangs. So the hair is, very long, very cheap, very synthetic. And it is styled Farrah Fawcett Circuit Charlie's Angels. So it's Jesus, right? So then we get to the jeans, the bedazzled 2002 Affliction Miss Me jeans, right? So she's probably pushing 50. That she's got the low cut shirt with the just, oh my God, right? So looking at her, looking at the other mistresses that he cheated on me with, like none of these women were like drop dead gorgeous, right? So that's what just kind of just stabbed that knife in my heart just a little bit more, right? He always used to tell me I was out of his league. And I was like, I couldn't understand why, because he's a very charming guy. He's very charming. He's good looking. He's handsome. I couldn't understand why he would say that. Well, looking at his past record, of course I'm out of his league. I'm not nasty. I'm not trashy. I'm definitely not trying to hook up with you while you're in a relationship. All these women knew he was in a relationship, okay? Didn't matter if he told them, oh, we're fighting, or oh, this, oh, doesn't matter. You're in a relationship. How are you going to go, like, it just speaks volumes of the types of women that he goes after. And oh, I got to do a video on that because, yeah. But yeah, so saw Trina just conjured up all of these emotions. But then again, I was like, well, you know, I mean, at least I don't have to deal with that. At least I mean, it made me feel a little bit better about myself. Really, really wish she would have saw me, but yeah. So let's just hope she never comes in there again, because I didn't have to wait on her, didn't have to interact with her, but yeah. And honestly, I knew this day would come. But yeah, so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like this content, please consider subscribing. Thanks, guys. Bye.